Hello and welcome to Grinding Meaning number 33, The Psychology of Road Rage. I've referenced this a bunch of times, so a lot of times when I'm talking about Rocket League, because, similar environments, similar behaviors, dominated by, similar people. I don't want to tread over stuff that I've talked about a lot already. Just give me 1 second to check my stream. Yes, that is me. One of the big parts of it is people will be more aggressive. It's not just limited, what do you call it? Accountability. In other words, people will restrain their behavior if that behavior will cause negative outcomes in their life. So, at home with the family or at work or, social settings, you can't act that way. But when you get behind the wheel, you don't experience the same consequences. There's also the limited, the limited anonymity. Also, when there's a barrier between direct physical confrontation, people tend to be more aggressive. But when that barrier is removed, that's why you don't see this. I remember there was a funny, I think it was a radio, what do you call it? Public awareness thing about road rage. And the premise was, what if people push their carts at the grocery store like people drive their cars? It was actually pretty funny, and it made a good point. But the reason we don't do it there is because we actually are right. There's no barrier between us. If you act like you did when you're driving, you might end up getting your ass kicked. So that, tends to not happen. But to kind of demonstrate that, let me kill this. Humans are animals, especially when we're acting, let's say, less civilized. And I think this will do a good job of demonstrating that when there's a barrier to direct conflict, direct physical conflict, we tend to be more aggressive. They kind of look like they're ready to kill each other. Oh, wait, no barrier. Huh. Maybe not. Wait. Okay, it's safe to fight again. I'm gonna kill you, and, maybe not so much now. This is so human. But that kind of gives you an idea of, like, the behavior. Like, when the closed gate represents being inside of a car. Although some people will get out, they don't have... Okay, they very rarely have any interest in getting in a fight. And there's a clip later where a guy gets out like he wants to fight, and if he had any inclination to fight, he probably would have. Which is really dangerous to do when you don't know how to fight. But I went through some road rage clips and trying to find ones that would kind of demonstrate what I'm talking about. And there was a passenger who just understood what was going on, what it was about, what. And I think I'm going to rather than explain it myself, I think this person does an amazing job. What's going to happen is the driver can see that this person's going to try to get in front of them before a turn lane. So he tries to close the gap so he can't get in front of him, and the guy just goes in anyway, super freaking rude and kind of dangerous. And the normal human reaction would be, okay, that's a crazy person, maybe give him a little space and just get on with your day. But there's an issue with, like, low status males, low status in whatever social hierarchies they interact with, that they are on edge for anyone pushing them down any further. And they are looking for conflicts that they can win that aren't going to have a negative impact on their social standing and the social hierarchies they engage with. So when they're behind the wheel, this is the time, and this is why it's also a lot like Rocket League and, gaming in general. This is the one environment where they can act out this behavior without, significant consequence. But this passenger just nails it. I'll let it go here.
Honey, let him go! Just let him go!
And she understands. It's like, what is this worth? What are you going to get? What are you gaining by, you know, just stay, you know, not backing off, just holding onto your horn. But no, well, I'll let it keep going.
Please! What are you going to do? Let me out of this car, please. What's your problem, Craig?
He cut in front of me.
And so?
He could have easily gotten behind
And I
me.
have to die?
And she gets it. She understands that this is a ridiculous thing, that it's not something worth fighting over. And based on her accident, she has a much higher chance of understanding what actual violence looks like than the average American. And I think she explains it probably better than I could.
I'm not gonna die.
Just let me if you want to play.
I'm not playing.
That's a drug guy.
Yeah, just let me out if you want to play. Because she gets it. She knows this is not real. This is a little game he's playing with himself and the other guy, where he gets to be outraged and be aggressive, and she is just not having it.
That's a drug guy. He is crazy. You want to be crazy
I
like
don't give
him?
a fuck. What's he gonna do?
Let me out and do it. Yes, sir.
And this one, like the cameras are often just as bad or almost as bad, just as bad or worse than the people. And they go out and try to, once they have a camera on their car, they want to capture road ragers and assholes on the road. But they are usually one of them. What you'll notice is this, he can see, and if you've driven down the freeway, you know that if you're going a little bit faster in the left lane, and then there's a slower car in the right lane, and then somebody's in the right lane trying to get in front of you, you will unconsciously or consciously kind of step on the gas a little bit to keep them from cutting you off. But what you'll see here is that he speeds up to try to keep this guy from getting past him. But funny thing is, this you know what I need to do? I need to enable the cursor. Oh, weird. Still can't see it. Oh, well, I'll just let it play. So yeah, the pickup's strong coming. He steps on the gas. And oddly enough, this van hits his brakes at the same time. So the guy with the camera is kind of being a jerk. The guy in the truck should have known that it was going to be close and could have just waited. But for all we know, see, because you don't see the lead up to this, the driver might have been going the same speed as this van for a while. And then the pickup truck's like, oh, screw it, I'm going to go around him because you're in the fast lane going the same speed as the slow lane. But then as soon as he goes around him, he speeds up. And then the van is also like apparently watching his rearview mirror and hitting the brakes for no reason other than to be a dick to the pickup truck. And now the driver is past the van. If the driver wanted the right-hand lane, he should already be partway into that lane if that's where he wanted to go. Not going, he's still going straight. If he wanted the right lane, he could have had it because, you know, the guy in the right lane cleared out the spot. So he can go over with no issue whatsoever. Still hasn't gone over. Okay, the truck behind him that he sped up to keep from getting cut off by, or potentially cut off by, is now starting to head over into the right lane. Oh, and then he's going to go in the right lane right in front of him, which is a super aggressive maneuver. He continues to change lanes in front of me, assuming he just needed to take the upcoming exit. I switch back to the passing lane, only to have him come over as well. Like, the story the driver is trying to tell himself that he is faultless in this is super common in, like, the road rage cameras. It's like, oh, he's just changing lanes. Back and forth. Oh, you just did that. You just did exactly the same thing. And anything they say happens off camera, you can basically say, yeah, whatever. I didn't see a brake check. Maybe that's coming up and I didn't see it when I was putting these together. Oh, there it is. Well, he cut you. Yeah. That wasn't like a bad brake check. In other words, you didn't. That was more of a flashing of the brake lights. And this guy, the driver, literally called the cops and turned the video. You know, he's lucky the cops didn't cite him for, you know, reckless driving and that lane change. And I'm sure that happens sometimes. That would be freaking hysterical if a driver who thought he was in the right actually turned in evidence to the police of him committing a violation on the road. I'm sure it's happened at some point. And, you know, claiming stolen plates, the cameras will make up whatever they need to make up to make them seem like, you know, the innocent party or, you know, non-aggressor. But they make this crap up all the time. The next video. Okay, driver is in the right lane. And there's a vehicle coming up behind him. Now the vehicle is in quite a hurry. Or not. I mean, it looks like you're on a freeway at 39 miles an hour, so that seems low. And he's already up to 42 and has changed lanes once. He's up to 45 and he's ready to change lanes again right as that other person was trying to get around him. So he has jumped how much? What did he start out at? 33. Steps on the freaking gas. Almost causes an accident. You know, the person behind him understandably ticked off. But the person behind him is probably, you know, kind of a jerk too. Oh, I did not see them speeding, as it was a brief shoulder check to look back before looking forward. Right as I look forward and start changing over to the left lane, I see the Tesla's headlights hit the barrier to my left. I didn't see an impact. And we'll go with what he said. The Tesla is not like right on his ass. Tesla might have realized, you know, this seems kind of like a crazy person. They almost hit me. Maybe I'll give them a little space. But also hitting the headlights, like, you know, as I look in my left mirror and see the Tesla right off of my left rear, at the same time, I saw the front car's brake lights come back on out of the corner of my right eye. Freaked out as this was very sudden. To be honest, I'm not sure what he's talking about here. I'm not sure what the Tesla is doing here. Oh, I guess he's going to be turning at the light or something. This guy flies. Look at that. He is going through a freaking gas station at 22 miles an hour. But he's the hero of the story. 26. Basically to avoid the light. So he went around the light by going into the gas station, which is actually a violation. You're not supposed to avoid traffic controls. And basically made his left through the gas station. And what you have, this guy is just aggressively riding this chick's butt. And of course he definitely cut off the probably, you know, minute or two before that where he's just riding her butt for no apparent reason, trying to elicit a reaction. And it's probably not a coincidence that he's targeting a woman because, well, when you see the guy. You have to remember with these cameras, they tend to be a bit wide, so they are a lot closer than they appear. Because if you look, she gets from her bumper to his window in just a second.
Have a what?
A problem with the ass in my car. Even
She's asking, do you have a problem with the ass of my car?
the heat from it since he got behind me.
Have I f***ing touched it?
it's kind of not the point whether you actually hit the person.
Stay on your cloud.
And that is just a super, super mature, non-beta response to someone calling you out for driving like a dick. Now, she shouldn't have gotten out of her car. But apparently is unleashing terror. But, kind of Karen. But Karens usually initiate stuff without reason. So maybe the Karen doesn't apply. And this is horrible. This is a terrifying situation. If you ride a motorcycle, somebody starts passing. And you can see like the semi must have seen the motorcycle and just started moving over because he didn't want to see the motorcycle get splatted. So, hats off to the trucker, saw this coming. But the guy passing the truck may not have seen the bike. Especially since, if you're behind a truck, it's kind of hard to see. But that's a really scary scenario, and the guy who was passing is definitely at fault here. And definitely if somebody does that and you not sure you got their license plate on the first pass, and you want to go make sure to get the license plate, bring the video into the police, you don't want this person, killing, any motorcycle drivers. That makes sense. But, and like I said, anything they say about happen. Well, why after the video ended? Why don't we include that? So you basically assign yourself to be law enforcement, stop traffic, so you can confront the person.
You see me now? You see me now?
There's a thing that happens, because most of the time, when someone is a dick to you while you're driving, cuts you off, or does something douchey, it's like the woman in the first video said, it's an invitation to play. And a lot of times, if you don't respond, they'll just go look for somebody else to play with. But occasionally, some people are just capable of one-sided aggression, where they don't require the other person to consent to, a 1v1 road rage situation. They will just escalate. Because now, the SUV might have done something before the camera started rolling, or probably the camera's rolling the whole time, but there might have been something. But if you watch this, he is not responding. He is just driving. And this guy in the little red car is super angry. Like the arm hanging out of the car is funny. Like, are there any non-douchebags that have their arm out of the car like that? And he's basically saying, come out. He thinks he's police, and this is what happens a lot, where people will just basically assign themselves to be like the enforcer, and he's like, they can order you to pull over, and he's like, he's waving over like, pull over, and then he pulls over like the other guy is going to. Now, it is possible. Oh no, it's not possible. I was going to say that there might have been like damage, contact between the cars and damage, and he's just like, pull over, we need to do the thing. But you'll see later that that's not the case. And he realizes the guy's like, no, I'm not engaging. I'm just gonna drive. And obviously the red car is just driving angry. When you whip lane changes, you just feel justified to break the rules, like drive where you're not supposed to drive and get out of your car when you shouldn't get out of your car. Like, and he just has this like impotent energy about him. And he like holds up his arm like he might swing, but he's not going to swing. Also, because he knows this guy could really mess him up. He just wanted a little shouting, possible shoving match. I like it later here. This guy's actually smiling. The guy in the Forerunner does not seem particularly angry. And I just grabbed a few. I just wanted to kind of show it's just not worth it. Because as I got, you could say, better at the social thing, to where in real life, nobody could really do anything that would really get under my skin. Typically because I knew why they were doing what they were doing and why they were doing it. And I just kind of felt some pity for people. But for some reason behind the wheel, it would be more triggering when someone would like cut you off raw, or I'm like, I'm not letting that asshole in front of me, and you know, all this stuff. I would get drawn into it. And it was like an area of shame for me. So for a while, I really became fixated on like the road rage videos, because like I wanted to understand, and it also helped me become more detached. And as it is now, it is just not worth it. I am not in, like the woman said in the first video, or the video that's up right now. I am not interested in that conflict. I'm not concerned about my status socially. I don't have self-hate or, you know, inner rage that I need another person to work out on. I don't need any of that. So if they're gonna try, you know what, you can have it. If you're having clearly a worse day than me, well, probably all of your days are worse than mine. You know, have at it, Hoss. But just, you know, and that's also why I really don't like driving in the suburbs. I don't live too far from a major city, and I avoid driving in the close suburbs of the city whenever possible, because it's just draining. But, well, that was the videos I wanted to get through. And I guess I don't really have a conclusion. But you know what, I should just let this one play all the way through and let that be my closer. This has been Grinding Meeting number 33, The Psychology of Road Rage. You all have a great day.
Woo! Honey, let him go! Just let him go! Please! What are you going to do? Let me out of this car, please! What's your problem, Craig?
He cut in front of me.
And so?
He could have easily gotten behind
And
me.
I have to die?
We're not gonna die.
Just let me if you want to play.
I'm not playing.
That's a drug guy. That's a drug guy. He is crazy. You want to be crazy
I
like
don't
him?
give a fuck. What's he gonna do?
Let me out and do it.